going on, people? It's King Richez back again with another live stream, another broadcast. Yeah. First things first, let me say big up to all the old subscribers, all the new subscribers. Yeah. I really appreciate each and every one of you. All right. I want to do something a little bit different from my usual content on this channel. And I want to talk about something which is a big problem and issue for a lot of people around the world, especially for this time of year. I'm doing this in December. Christmas is coming up, and a lot of people are faced with the demon of depression. Right? I've had actually quite a few subscribers requesting that I touch on the subject of depression again, because this is a very important problem that needs to be tackled and needs to be talked about. I think this topic gets a lot of underrepresentation because a lot of people are going through it. A lot of guys are going through it in silence, right? Basically, like, everybody knows me, like, on the internet, King Richez or Ambitions of Power on Instagram or whatever. You know, my character is very kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I'm just like a loudmouth, right? I've got kind of this loudmouth character. I've got this kind of, like, I don't give a F. You know, at times I can be very aggressive, confrontational. You know, but the fact of the matter is, I wasn't always like this. The fact of the matter is that for a long time, I was faced with a lot of depression. I've had 2 major bouts of depression in my life. So what I will do is I will kind of touch on those times in my life, how I felt at them times, and you know how I got through it, right? And hopefully it will help somebody else out there who is going through depression. Because, you know, we can talk about dating and relationships and how people are acting crazy and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, you know, there's more serious things going on. And a lot of people take their own lives because they don't know how to deal with how their life is going. They don't know how to be positive. They don't see anything positive in their life, and you know, they just end up giving up. And I know how that feels. The funny thing is, this live stream here, I was going to talk about something completely different. I was actually on the phone with a friend of mine, and I was telling her how I was going to do a live stream about something completely different. You know, how somebody had annoyed me and said some things that, you know, were just unnecessary, and how I felt about it. But as I sat down and I was getting ready to start that live stream talking about that subject, I started to remember old feelings and emotions I used to feel when I used to get disparaging comments my way. I started to remember how I used to feel when I would get negative feedback from people, or just mean comments, and how it used to, like, kind of crush me. And then it made me remember all those subscribers and people who asked for me to talk about depression. Alright, let's start from the top. As a young kid, yeah, I grew up in a household. I was the last of 5 children. The last of 5. Yeah. And it was just my mum in the house. There was no dad, there was no father there. It was just my mum and my siblings, and I was the last one. I'm the youngest sibling by 15 years. All my other siblings are like around about the same age, and I'm the youngest. I was an oops baby. I was an accident. My mum would probably say I wasn't, but I'm 15 years younger than the rest of my siblings, so I'm pretty much an oops baby. Right? In my household, money was tight. Yeah, it's tight. I didn't get most of the things I wanted as a child. I didn't get. I missed out on a lot of things. I missed out on things that, as an adult, I look back, they were very petty things, video game or a toy or a trip or trainers or stuff like that. I missed out on a lot of things as a kid, you know. And, as a child, you don't really think about where money comes from. You don't really understand the concepts. You just know that you want this, and if you don't get it, you're upset. Now, anybody out there who knows how it feels to go without and go without for a long time, you know how frustrating that is. Especially if your friends or people around you, they get to have what they want and you don't. I was very frustrating as a kid. In my primary school, right? In primary school in the UK, that's when you're from 5 years old to like the age of like 10. Yeah. I had to wear a grey jumper, black trousers, and hard shoes. Right? I had to wear basically a school uniform. And I went to a primary school that didn't have a school uniform. So I went to a primary school where you could wear whatever you wanted, right? You could wear Batman, Superman, Spider-Man t-shirts, shorts, trainers, whatever you wanted. But me, I had to wear grey jumper, white shirt, black trousers, and black shoes. And the reason behind that was, we was poor. We didn't, like, we just didn't have the money. Like, my mom just didn't have the money to be like making me wear all different kinds of outfits every day to school. So I was just wearing the same thing. That was another frustration for me growing up. And that went on my whole time in primary school, pretty much. I remember in that time, the only time I really got new trainers is if, like, the trainers I had were completely busted. Like, they were done. Like, they were finished. Yeah. Like, any trainers that I had that I wore on the weekend or whatever, or outside of school, they were for everything. They was for going out. They was for playing football. They were for going to the park. Everything. Do you know what I'm saying? I remember a couple times my brother would give me hand me down stuff, and I remember one time I was so happy. He gave me his old Air Maxes. He had some old Nike Air Maxes. They were obviously too big for me. But bro, I still wore them out. I remember those trainers. Those were like my favorite trainers, bro, for ages. Big up CKQ, I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, those Nikes, man, they were my favorite trainers for years. They must have been like, I don't even know what size they are, but they were like 3-4 sizes too big for me, and I used to wear those, bro. I used to wear those, bruh. Those were like the prized possession I had, bro. Big up to my brother. Big up the big bro. So yeah, boom. That was my primary school experience, man. I remember, like, if I had to ask my mum for anything, like, if I had to ask my mum for money to do anything, it was always a mad, mad thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I know my mum was not trying to hear any kind of nonsense, like, I need money to go on a school trip or anything like that. Now, I will say this, my mum always tried her best to make sure that I went to certain things, like that I wasn't completely left out of things, but sometimes I wasn't able to do some certain things as well. And, you know, at that age, that hurts when, you know, all your peers, all your little mates, you know, your school classmates, they all go on a trip and you're not able to go because you can't afford to go. Yeah. Yeah, so that was that. Um, Fast forward to secondary school now. Yeah. Boom. Got to secondary school. You know, now everybody's wearing uniforms. So the fact that I'm dressed all in like dark colours doesn't really matter anymore because everyone's wearing the same uniform. Still didn't really have money, really, like that. But now my siblings had all moved out. Yeah. All my siblings had moved out. So it was pretty much like I was the only child at that point, which kind of was, that kind of affected me as well. That kind of affected me as well. Because, you know, my mum's working all the time. So I was the kind of kid, even from primary school, like I would come back home and no one would be in the house, fam. I would just be on my own in the house. And that was the way it was in secondary school. Come back home, nobody's in the house. It's just me and the TV, fam. So anyway, boom. Secondary school. Got bullied a little bit. Got bullied. Actually, I got bullied a little bit in primary school because I was fat. Yeah. See, when you listen to my life story, it's gonna all kind of make sense why I talk the way I talk about certain subjects. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, when I talk about single mothers, or when I talk about being overweight, and when I talk about confidence and all these kind of things, and smoking and all these things, it's gonna all make sense. So anyway, so boom, yeah, I got teased, I got bullied for being fat and stuff like that in primary school. Got to secondary school now. I was still big, and I got teased in year 7. So that's like when you're like 11 years old. I was getting teased, oh, chubby, fat, 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 all that. Um, and I was actually a good boy. You know what I'm saying? Because up until that point, I'd always gone church with my mum every Sunday, going church with my mum without fail, you know. Um, yeah. So when I got to secondary school, you know, anyone knows when you get to high school and you're with older kids, you know, they're ruthless. They don't care. They have no conscience, no heart, bruv. And I've gone in there with this little broke church boy thing, you know, with my brother's old trainers, with my brother's old Air Maxes, and yeah, the kids was ruthless, bruv. But the funny thing was, like, I was kind of liked. Like, it was weird because the people that bullied me was kind of like my friends at the same time. But then when it was time to really go at me, they would go hard at me, bruv. Hard. And I'm not gonna lie, them times I used to cry, bruv. I was a crybaby as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would actually break down, like, can you imagine King Richez breaking down because people are teasing me about being fat? Mad. Yeah. So, but anyway, So as year 8, I started getting out of my shell, breaking out of my shell. Because you know what I realized, yeah? I was realizing that, raw, like, I'm actually bigger than most of the other kids. So the other kids, you know, why am I going to let these other kids talk shit to me? And big up Solo TV 84, man. Big up Solo TV. He says, real topic, bro. Hope all is well. Don't sleep on crypto. It's about to go up soon. Yeah, man. I'm definitely looking at that stuff, man. Big up to Solo TV 84. And everyone go check out his channel, please. Yeah? That's a real brother. So anyway, boom. So I started getting a little bit bolder. Yeah, I wasn't. Obviously, there were some people that would still tease me, but I wasn't. I was starting to be a little bit more physical with people. You know, all that kind of frustration and, you know, all of that, I started taking it out on other people. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm throwing my weight around and, you know. And, you know, by the Most High's grace, I was athletic as well. I was fat, but I was athletic. And I started playing all sports and stuff like that. I used to play rugby. I used to play basketball. I used to play football, like soccer football. I was really good at rugby though, really good. And a lot of the teasing and bullying I got kind of disappeared because I was a sports guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Everyone knew that, yeah, he's one of the sports guys kind of thing in my school. So that kind of disappeared a little bit. I was still getting pushed around by older boys in my school, but it was kind of a thing of they looked at me as, oh, this guy, this young boy is kind of big, so we got to kind of like make him know his place, like don't talk shit to us kind of thing. Whatever. Anyway, I started getting a little bit more confident to talk to girls because we had a girls' school as well. I talked to the girls in my year as well, like, yeah, things started to pick up a little bit, but I still wasn't happy though, you know, because at the end of the day, you leave school, you know, you go home, I'm still going home to an empty house. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, my mum didn't come back from work till like, I don't know, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So for a long time, the TV raised me, bruv. Like, television, the TV. I always wanted, like, a close family when I was younger. I always wanted, like, to be in a house full of people. I understand why Kevin Samuels says that, you know, if you have a child, you just have one child, that's very selfish. I understand why he says that, because as a kid that more or less grew up on my own, it is very tough. You don't have no siblings, like, you don't have no one to back you. Most of the time in those ages growing up, I didn't have no one to back me, bruv. My brother and sisters were older. They were living their own lives. They wanted to get as far away from home as possible. They never even used to come home, like, for Christmas, birthdays. But, like, they used to come for birthdays sometimes, but that just kind of stopped. You know, they just went off to do their own thing. Big up to Black Pill. So, I guess I was always, like, kind of sad about that. Year 9, I started hanging out with boys, like, in my area, like, outside of school. I was hanging out with boys that didn't live... I was hanging out with boys that didn't go to my school from my area. A lot of these boys were, like, into all kinds of different things, smoking weed, etc., etc. You know, they're parties, going house parties, doing petty crimes, you know, all the regular stuff, right? As I've said many times, I lost my virginity at 13. I started smoking weed at 13. You know, by that age, I'd stopped going to church with my mum. I wasn't going to church with my mum anymore. I was just... I was just doing whatever. I guess I was looking for brothers outside. I was looking for a family outside. I always felt like estranged from my siblings because they were so much older than me, and they didn't really want to come back home. And I think that they didn't really want to come back home because they didn't have the best relationship with my mum. So it kind of made me estranged from them. So I pretty much grew up as an only child, in my opinion. That made me quite angry. Started messing around from 13 years old. As I said, started, doing this, doing that. Started smoking weed. So much fun at the beginning. Soon turned into an addiction. I stopped trying in school. I wasn't really trying anymore. All I wanted to do was smoke and hang out with my friends on the council estate. All we wanted to do is smoke, listen to rap music, and chase girls. That's all. That is all. I'm sure most people that hear me speak can tell that I have a certain level of intelligence. I've always had that level of intelligence, but in school I didn't apply myself. I was completely distracted from academics. I saw it as geeky. The only thing I liked about school was playing sports, talking crap. That's it. The only GCSE I got in secondary school that was worth talking about was maths, or math for you Americans. That's the only one. Everything else, I don't even remember what grades I got. I know I didn't fail, but I didn't get good grades. I just didn't care about school anymore. Big setback. So, now, got rubbish grades, and I didn't have no ambition. I didn't have no ambition, bro. Now, all I did every day was smoke and drink and just go and hang out. Then it progressed to doing petty crimes. Snatching people's phones. Selling a little bit of grass. Some of my friends were selling harder stuff. I didn't have no ambition, bro. And I had a serious smoking addiction, and I had a serious porn addiction. Yeah. The ironic thing about that is that I was chasing girls, and I was going house parties, and I was getting girls, and I was sleeping with girls. But I had serious porn addiction, bro. Now, when people talk about porn addiction, a lot of times people start laughing, ha 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 ha. They try to make people feel like crap because of that, but that thing is very, very crippling. Just like most other addictions are crippling. My lifestyle had turned into a lifestyle of just waste. Just a waste, man. Like nothing going on. Smoke weed, hang out, maybe sell a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know, maybe steal this, steal that, getting into fights on the street with people. Come home, insomniac, I couldn't sleep. Literally, I could not sleep without smoking. And then, you know, I had to satisfy my porn addiction as well. Had to watch porn, had to jack off, had to bust a nut. Then I can sleep, bruv. For a long time in my life, I completely would deny that. For a long time in my life, there was no way that anyone could ever make me admit to that. And I was just in a vicious cycle, like. And you know what the main common denominator was? I was depressed, bro. I was depressed. Seriously. I was depressed that my family was not a close unit. I was depressed that I didn't have no money, and I came from a household that didn't have money. I was depressed that I was now a drug addict, to the point where I couldn't sleep without smoking, and to the point where now I was hearing voices. I was hearing voices, bro. Like, this is not no joke. This is not no game. I'm not just saying this because I don't like weed or something like that. Bro, I was hearing voices, bro. Loud and clear. And these voices were saying every disparaging, negative thing you could imagine to me, about me. Those voices were breaking me down, destroying me. Any little bit of confidence or ego was completely destroyed, dissolved. I'd started to hate myself. I hated the fact that I was so addicted to weed that I had to smoke it. But then I hated the fact that I know when I smoke it, I'm going to hear these voices. I hated myself because I was addicted to pornography. Anyone that's a porn addict, you know, you get that feeling, oh, you just want to bust a nut, you just want to look at porn, you watch it, you jack off, you bust a nut, then you feel disgusted with yourself. Yeah. You feel disgusted with yourself. This all led on to having social anxiety. I didn't want no one to see me, bro. At that point in my life, I would have lived on an island. I wish I could have just moved and been on an island with nobody around me, just ocean. The funny thing about that time is I had a lot of people around me. I actually know. Listen, it wasn't even a thing like I was a loner or, you know, I didn't have no friends. I had friends from school and I had friends outside of school. And I had girls. I even had girls as well. But I was so inside my own head. I was so paranoid. Like, bruh, it was just horrible. And again, having no ambition, no aim, it was like I was just floating. I was in like limbo. I was just static. Big up CKP. He says it's for the super chat. He says a very hard addiction to break, and so is smoking. Smoking helps the uncomfortable go away. Exactly. Big up Charmaine J for the super chat. I appreciate that. I didn't even feel easy around my so-called friends at the time. I didn't feel easy around them. I didn't feel easy in public. I didn't want to be seen. I used to walk around with hoodies over my head, just dark colours. Like, I don't want people to see me. I didn't even feel easy walking, bruv. Like, just simple walking. I'd feel like people are watching me. I felt like people were following me. Like, bro, that was the worst time. Like, psychologically, that was the worst time of my life. Worst. But I was in a cycle. I was in a cycle, bro. So, yeah. I'll never forget one time my next door neighbor, his mum, she knew that I was smoking weed a lot and all of this. And then she tried to give me some like good advice. I remember she was telling me how, she knows that I smoke weed and that I need to stop smoking and I need to go and find something better to do and I need to stop hanging around with the people I'm hanging around and stuff like that. And I remember at the time I was just like, yeah, whatever. But it was just like, whoa, like it was starting to hit now. It was starting to get in there that, raw, your life is just flying by. Like you're wasting your life. Like what are you gonna do? Like your embarrassment. You're letting yourself down, you're letting your mum down, bro, you're just a waste. Big up Fanatics for the super chat. He says, I was a busy teenager, was going to school, play basketball anywhere, meet up friends home, cinema, talked about girls, why they acted so tight as a teen. I hear you. Big up MJ. He says, peace for the super chat. He says, peace. May the Most High bless you and keep you on your journey of being a better version of your self-respect. Big up MJ. I appreciate the kind words, bro. I was in a cycle at that time. Now, what was the tipping point? What was the catalyst for change at that time? Well, one of the worst things that could happen. Remember, I'm the youngest of 5 on my mother's side. Yeah, I'm the youngest of 5. My oldest sister died. My oldest sister died of heart problems. She had 2 boys. That was a very strange, traumatic, turbulent time. I'll never forget the day, the evening the news came to my house. I remember I was upstairs. Who knows what I was doing? Probably something I'm not meant to. And I just heard my mum scream. Now, there's different levels of screams, bro. There's when someone is shouting, they're angry. And then there's a scream of despair. My mum let out a scream of despair. It chilled my bones, bruv. Genuine fear. And I'll tell you now, as the King Richez that you see before you, I'm not scared of anything or anyone, bruv. The only thing I'm scared of is the Most High, and that's it. But that day, hearing my mum scream out, that sent chills down my body. Bruv. I ran out. I saw my other sister there crying. My mum was on the floor. and my sister said that my oldest sister was dead. At that point, I'd never had an episode in my life where someone I knew personally had died. You know, you hear about people dying, you know, but you don't really you can't really imagine it happening to anyone you know. Like it's so foreign. Like it's like something that happens on TV. That don't happen in real life. I was stunned, bruv. I couldn't believe it. The despair that my oldest sister was dead and there's nothing no one can do about that. She's gone. She's gone, bruv. You gotta remember, this is somebody that's probably held me as a baby and probably bathed me, put clothes on me, fed me and stuff like that. You know, all my siblings have probably looked after me as a baby at some point. And they're gone. And that's it. You see, when something like that happens, yeah, it kind of puts your mind in a state of looking at things through a clear lens. It kind of makes you look in the mirror and be honest. For the time after hearing that news, I was staring in the mirror, bro. I was staring in the mirror, and I realized that I was a drug addict. I was a porn addict with no ambition. Nothing going on in my life, bro. I realized that any kind of confidence or ego I had at the time was fake. I realized I didn't even know who I was. So, after a lot of self-reflection and realizing that life is very short, realizing that everybody's on borrowed time, realizing that this life is not a video game, I realized I had to change something. It was either I'm going to change my situation or I'm just going to carry on being a loser. First thing I had to do. First thing I had to do is tackle my addictions. First addiction. I had to stop being a drug addict. The fact that I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat without smoking is a problem. The fact that all I thought about is getting money so I can buy weed is a problem. The fact that I was doing petty crimes and selling weed, and that all my friends at the time smoked weed excessively, was a problem. See, this is the reason why I talk so bad about smoking weed. And I don't care who doesn't like it. I don't care what idiots want to give their stupid excuses for it. Because I know how it affected me, and I know how it's affected a lot of other people that I grew up with. And even if it doesn't affect you in an extreme way, it's still a waste of money, and it's still unhealthy, and it's still a drug. So you're still a drug addict, whether you like it or not. And I was just like you for many, many years. So, what did I have to do? First of all, I had to go cold turkey. And it was good because I didn't really have money to be buying weed like that anyway. So I had to go cold turkey, and I had to separate from my drug addict friends. Many of them who still are fully hooked on smoking weed. I had to separate from them, bruv. Because guess what? The fact is, the smoking weed was a way to escape reality. Because my reality was depressing and miserable. My reality was empty. So the smoking and all of that, that was just a nice little distraction. So I didn't have to think. And I didn't have to look in the mirror. Do you know how bad it was when I was tackling my weed addiction? Which I quit and I started back and I quit and I started back. Yeah? It wasn't just one time. I quit and failed and went back to smoking, then I quit again. I remember in the period of time where I quit, I could not sleep. I'd be wide awake 24 hours. I'm wide awake. And it was so bad that I used to... There's a store or a shop called Cost Cutter. Anybody from the UK, London, knows Cost Cutters, yeah? I used to go to that shop 24 hours, yeah? I would walk out of my house at like 12:30 in the night. I would go Cost Cutters and I would buy a pack of 10 cigarettes and I would buy 2 cans of the strongest beer. The dirtiest, strongest, highest percentage beer, which at the time was Super Skull. It was in a black can. That shit was poison, bruh. I used to drink that. I'd go to the park and I'd smoke like all this. I'd smoke like half the pack of cigarettes. Chain smoking the cigarettes and drinking alcohol till I'm basically fucked up. And then I'd go home and then I could sleep. That was the only way I could sleep. How sad is that? That's something that you would see like a homeless guy on the street do. That's what I used to do, bro. Every night. What was it? Mayfair cigarettes. Anyone from the UK knows Mayfair cigarettes in the blue and white box. The blue box, the light blue box. That's what I used to buy. Mayfair cigarettes, 2 Super Skull, sit in the park just down the road from my house, smoke as much and drink as much as I can to get wasted, and then I could sleep. Eventually, I got sick of doing that. eventually I got sick of doing that. Obviously, as I said, I had to distance myself from all the friends that I had. I had to distance myself, which kind of made me a little bit more depressed because now I'm really on my own. And times was shit, man. Porn addiction. The only real way you can really curb porn addiction is by limitation, like restriction. Like, it's gonna be pretty difficult for you if you are a porn addict to just completely go cold turkey. You know what I'm saying? So if you are the kind of guy that, or even girl as well, because there's females that are porn addicts as well. Yeah. If you're the type that every single day you watch porn and masturbate, yeah. Like, if you wanna like quit the habit, you have to restrict it. So like, say every other day you'll watch it, and then every 2 days, then every 3 days, then a week, then 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to kind of do it gradually. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did, didn't it? You know what I'm saying? So that was hard as well. But the thing is, the more you abstain from like porn and stuff like that, the more confident. I don't know. You get this kind of like semen retention benefits kind of thing. You start to become more. I don't know. Your self-esteem rises. You start to feel better about yourself. You stop looking at yourself like a filthy animal. Because when you're fully in your porn addiction, that's how you feel about yourself. You look at yourself like a filthy animal, bruv. You frantically trying to hide your little addiction from the people you live with or your friends, like, you know what I mean? Like, all of that. I remember those days. And as I said earlier, if anybody asked me those times if I had a porn addiction, I would lie my ass off. I'd say, I don't watch porn. I don't watch porn. But I was a porn addict. A lot of people are porn addicts out there, men and women. Yes, I'm talking to you. I needed distractions. So I started going to the gym. I started playing soccer, football in the park with people. Started started making new friends. You know, friends in the gym, friends from playing football. You know, stop doing silly crimes and stuff. I remember one time, yeah, because I haven't really touched on that aspect, but like I used to do like little silly crimes. I used to snatch people's phones. Like, there was one time, like a couple times, like man would be on the bus, man would just sit next to somebody and rob them. Man's done that. Just on the bus, you see somebody that looks like a victim, usually a boy, yeah. Sit next to him and tell him, give me everything you got. What have you got on you? What phone have you got? Straight up. Or in the street. We're all trying to live by this street code. This street code that doesn't even mean anything. This street code that doesn't mean anything. We're all trying to live by the rules of Tupac. So anyway, man, I still wasn't happy at those times. Like, even though, like, you know, I was curbing my addictions and I'd substituted my bad friends for new friends and stuff like that, like, I still weren't happy. One of the reasons why I wasn't happy is because obviously my family was still, you know, not close, which was something I had to accept, that I was never going to have the Cosby Show family. I was never going to have the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air family. Yeah. So I had to just accept that. And then the other thing that was keeping me unhappy is that I didn't have no ambition. So that was the next thing I had to curb. Was going college. And I started playing sports. Obviously, I was playing football, but it was just muck around. And then I remember one of my friends from school, he asked me if I wanted to come play American football, which obviously at the time I was like, American football? What are you talking about? Like, and he's like, nah, just come play American football. Like, you always good at rugby and that, blah, blah, blah. Because even in school, I played for a rugby team outside of school at the same time, because I'd always like been athletic, big and athletic. And he said, yeah, come just try it. Duh, 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 duh. And that was a big turning point in my life. Because once I started playing football and I loved it, American football that is, and I loved it, and I actually ended up being one of the better people in the country at that time. One of the best players in the country at that time. Like, I saw, now I have some ambition, fam. Now I have some ambition. I have something I'm working towards. Now, there's a reason why I'm going to the gym. There's a reason why I'm eating right. There's a reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it gave me more purpose. See, one of the reasons why, not the main reason, but one of the main reasons why a lot of people have depression is because they don't have no purpose. They don't know what they're just there. They don't have no end goal. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, they just work a job that they hate. No ambition, like. And then it kind of puts you in a situation where it's just like, what's the point of what I'm doing? What's the point? Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, football gave me a lot of direction in life. I started to feel happier, you know, for the fact that now I was becoming healthy. You know, I had new sets of friends now, positive friends. You know, I had coaches that were good role models to me. Because I never really had role models up to that point. Like, I had no role models. Like, the only role models I had were the bad boys that were street guys in my area who were known and you know, known for being bad boys. Like, those are the people that most boys in where I grew up looked up to. And if you really look at it now, that's who the boys look up to now. They look up to all the bad boys. Who's the ones got the nice cars and got the nice looking girls with them and the nice chain and this and that? Yeah. Anyway, fast forward, I played football, got MVP on my team. My coach suggested that I might want to try and play football in America. So I trained hard for that. At the time, I was doing a cleaning job. I think some of you don't remember that I mentioned that I was doing a cleaning job. I'd done like all these little pointless jobs like labouring and stuff like that, concierge, all this kind of rubbish. Yeah. But at the time, I was doing a cleaning job. Funny thing is, at the time, I was going court. I had a court case for an assault, ABH. And boy, the prosecution wanted to send me to jail, bruh. Hard. And, you know, up to that point, I didn't have no serious previous. Like I'd been arrested for, you know, fighting and stuff like that, but nothing serious. Like I'd been caught with weed before, you know, but obviously I just said it was mine. So, you know, I just got hit with possession, class C, you know, etc., etc. Like, basically mostly fighting. Because I used to get arrested a lot, but it would usually just be like fighting or just like whatever, like minor things. But this time I was going court and the prosecution was really pushing for a custodial sentence. Yeah. Which by the grace of the Most High, they didn't throw me in the jail, in prison. But I was on a conditional discharge, right? Because I was actually found guilty. The jury found me guilty, obviously. A jury full of white people looking at this black boy, like, who's standing in the dock for assault. Like, of course they're gonna say he's guilty, innit? Yeah, so I got found guilty, but the judge was like, okay, I see that you're working a job and I see that you wanna you know, do further education. You know what, I'm not gonna mess your life up. And that was his exact words, bro. That was the exact words of the judge. He said, I'm not gonna mess your life up, but if I ever see you again in this court, I'm gonna slap on the sentence you was meant to get today along with whatever sentence for the next crime, and you're gonna go prison 100%. Like, and I was just like, boy, I'm out of here. I was like, I'm out of here, bro. So yeah. So anyway, fast forward, I went to America. I went to America. America was a lot of ups and downs. Yeah. I had I actually had a depressing episode in America where a lot of the people I was cool with turned on me. They turned their back on me because of, like, this other guy that came in, and I guess he was popular and everyone liked him, and the boy didn't like me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't like me. He just saw me as his enemy, his arch nemesis. I don't know why. I didn't even know the boy. I never even spoke to the guy. We was meant to be teammates and we were both playing defense. Like, but the guy just hated me. He just hated my guts. And I even wanted to be cool with him. He was just like, fuck you don't like me. And then it's just, you know, and then he just everyone just slowly was turning away from me, like F you kind of thing. We like him. And I just remember feeling so alone, bruv. Again, another huge factor in why people get depressed or feel like depression is overtaking them is because they just feel alone. That's another time in my life I'll never forget. And it was actually that time in my life where I got all my tattoos. I had no tattoos up to that point, and then I just went under the knife. All my tats are scriptures, bro. All my tats are scriptures, bruv. All of them. All of them are scriptures, bro. Specific scriptures that always remind me that it doesn't matter if the whole world turns on you. It doesn't matter if everyone turns their back on you. Now, I'm a guy, I believe in the Most High. You lot may not believe in anything. You know what I'm saying? Which is, you know, to each his own. Everyone's going to face their own judgment, in my opinion, innit? Yeah? But at that time, I felt like I didn't have nobody. I was in another country. All the real friends I had were back home in England. You know, I didn't trust anyone. Bruh, that was a very low point in my life in the States. People were really laughing at me. People I thought I was cool with turned their back on me, and now they was talking about me. Even the coaches, even my own positional coach. My own positional coach was an op. And the reason why I know he was an op is because he was trying to smash my girlfriend at the time. Imagine that. A guy that's in a position of power, yeah, someone that I'm meant to look to as trust, yeah, trying to seduce my girl at the time. Crazy. But I went through that, bro. I had physical altercations with people. Physical altercations where, you know, everybody was against me, bro. Like, I'll never forget that time I had in America, bro. Never. That period, that time of depression and everybody turning against me and all of this, because I'd never experienced nothing like that before. I'd never been despite all the negative things that I'd gone through, you know, addictions and depression, social anxiety, you know, whatever, getting bullied, all of that. But I'd never gone through a situation where it's just like everyone turned against me, bruv. I was the outcast. You're the guy from England that no one likes, bruv. I'll never ever forget that, and that really shaped me into the monster that I am now. Because I don't need, like, don't get me wrong. I like that I have friends. I'm happy to have friends and stuff, and everybody knows me now. I'm a very sociable guy. I talk to anyone. I mean, you lot have watched me on video talk to people and relate to people and have fun with people, but I don't actually need people. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I know how it feels to be on your own when you don't want to be, and having to deal with things on your own. So now I'm at the point where I don't need people to function. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah. But I'm not gonna lie to you, it was tough. It was rough, bro. It was rough. I remember I didn't even want to go to the cafeteria. I wouldn't even go to the cafeteria, bro. I was so depressed and low and like on my own. I remember I never even used to go cafeteria, bro. I used to just go to the Chinese restaurant that was next to the campus and buy food there, and then go to my room and just eat it, bro. Like, and that was it. I remember the school, they made me because I was having all these altercations with guys and that. The school put me on disciplinary probation and academic probation, because obviously I was failing my classes as well. Um, and I had to go to a counselor. I had to go and talk to a counselor. And at that time, I was depressed and I was angry, bro. I had a lot of hatred inside me, bro. A lot. Serious hatred, bro, inside me. For a lot of people. And the counselor really did help me. Like, you know. And I would suggest that a lot of people who are going through depression and, you know, they find it hard to handle their emotions, it is a good thing to go and see a counselor who can kind of help you sort your thoughts out, if that makes sense. Can help you put your thoughts in order. Sometimes your emotions can kind of overtake you, and that's a very dangerous situation to be in, because they can kind of push you to do something really bad. At that time in my life, I really wanted to do some really dreadful things to certain people, bro. Like, bad. It's a bad time in my life, bro. And that was the last school I went to. I went to like 3 schools in America. That was the last school I went to where all that nonsense happened. Um, Another thing that happened while I was in America, one of my friends that I was cool with from the first day I got to that school. He died on a motorbike. This was the second time where somebody I knew personally was gone. I remember the RA came to my room, and it happened in the summertime as well. And I was on campus, obviously, because I'm an international student. And the RA came to my room, knocked on my door, 9 a.m. early. I was like, what is she come knock on my door for? And then she was like, yeah, I've got some bad news. Like, your friend, I'm not gonna say his name obviously, but it was like your friend died last night in a accident. And I was just like, what? I couldn't even believe what I was hearing. Like, I couldn't even believe what I was hearing, bro. Now, the worst thing about it, this friend that died on the motorbike, me and him had a bad situation just like a few months before. And to be real, he was somebody that I felt like he kind of turned his back on me as well. And we had a physical altercation as well. But the worst thing about it is that I remember he came to my room one day after. He came to my room and he apologized. And he said that he wishes that things was different, and he just wanted us to be boys again. That was like the last time I spoke to him, I think. And I remember at that time I didn't even take the apology, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. I didn't accept the apology, bro. I'm just gonna be real. At that time, I was so angry, bro. I was so angry at him. I was so angry at like other people. I was angry at myself because I felt like I was taking a lot of crap that if I had been back home, I wouldn't have to take this crap. I could just do what I want. But at the time, I was scared of the repercussions of my actions. You know what I'm saying? Because at the time, it was a thing of if say I had done something and got excluded from the school, I would have lost my visa and I would have got kicked out of the country. I would have lost my visa. I would have had to get sent back home, and that's what I didn't want to happen. But because of that, certain people was taking advantage. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like and I felt like I felt like the guys that were on my case at the time, they knew what my situation was. It was obvious. Like, I didn't want to go and like smash someone's face in and then, get excluded, then have to, get on the plane back to the UK. You know what I'm saying? And people took advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like, when this friend of mine came and he apologized and all of this stuff, bro, I was like, I'm not hearing it. I was not hearing it, bro. I was like, you betrayed me, bruv. And that was the last time I spoke to him, bruv. And then the next thing, I saw him around. But I didn't really speak to him again. And then the next thing, he was dead, bruv. I remember I was with my girl at the time, and I remember me and my girl was drinking a little bit, and we was just talking about something, and then I'll never forget, I broke down, like proper broke down, like, because I never went to his funeral. One of the reasons why, which is very petty, but I didn't go to his funeral because I knew there was going to be a lot of people I didn't like that were going to be there. And plus, I didn't really have a way of getting to his funeral as well. So that kind of just kind of upset me that I didn't go. And I just remember I was just at my girl's house at the time and I was just crying, bro. Proper deep. Just died on a motorbike, just like that. Bang. Bruh, this life, yeah, is not a joke, fam. I want you lot to understand what I'm saying to you lot, yeah. This life is not a joke. Do not waste your life, bro. And to all those who are experiencing depression, I understand it can look like there's no way out. It can look like you're just looking into darkness. It can look like you're just looking straight into darkness, bro. A lot of times the people around you are giving you bad advice. They're just talking to you in a way like, oh, you just get over it. You'll get over it. But it's not like that, bro. A lot of us are battling demons. Demons of frustration. Demons of, loneliness. Demons of lack of ambition, of purpose. Demons which are addictions and vices in our lives. You gotta face your demons, man. Look in the mirror and be honest. Don't walk around being delusional. Life is short. Life is very short, bro. You don't want to waste your time on this planet just being depressed. It's a serious thing. And if you have somebody you can talk to, bruh, talk to somebody, bro. If you don't have a friend or family member, big up Daniel for the super chat. I appreciate that, man. I hear you, King. We got to fight to change our situations and seek professional help. Yep, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like, you got to face your demons, yeah? You got to be honest with yourself, identify what the problems and issues you have are, and then tackle those issues one by one. It's not going to be overnight fixes. Nothing is going to be an overnight fix. But if you're honest with yourself, that's the first step. Taking action is the second step. And it's going to be uncomfortable. Giving up smoking was uncomfortable. Giving up excessive porn addiction was uncomfortable. Separating myself from the friends that I'd been hanging around for years was uncomfortable. Dealing with having to be on my own with no support was uncomfortable. Being broke and trying to fix your financial situation is uncomfortable. Looking in the mirror and realizing that your life has no purpose is uncomfortable. But now is the time that you make a change in your life. Now is the time that you don't accept this life of misery. I talk about getting power all the time on this channel. All the time. Financial power, physical power, mental power, social power, and spiritual power. I've done videos on this before, and I will do videos like this in the future. You need to really try and maximize all of those points in your life. You need to realize that you are your own coach. You are your own cheerleader. You are your own biggest fan. You should want the best for yourself. A lot of us walking around, we kind of want to be successful. We kind of want to be happy. A lot of people out there, their parents want them to be successful more than they do. I was one of those people. My mum wanted me to be successful more than I did. Because at that time, all I wanted to do is smoke and just do nonsense. Don't let yourself fall in that trap. See, as I said, I wasn't gonna do this live stream. I was gonna do a live stream about something else, something to do with girls, some nonsense to do with girls. But something compelled me that I have to talk about this today. Someone needs to hear this today. And a lot of people have messaged me and asked me to talk about depression and stuff like that. Alright, let me just shout out the super chatters. Big up to Design and Art for the super chat. He says, this is a life-changing stream. Blessing King Richez. I appreciate that, my bro. Appreciate that highly, yeah. Big up JY's TV. Yeah. Big up Daniel Karoma. I hear you, King. We got to fight to change our situation and seek professional help. Yep. Got that one already. Big up MK for the super chat. I appreciate that. Big up MK. Big up Stan for the super chat. It says, this content is very helpful. Thanks, bro. Hey, listen, I'm just trying to help, bro. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Big up the Josh Samuel show. One love, Richez. You're the only real one left. I appreciate that, fam. Big up yourself, fam. And big up Daniel Cromer. He said, you should write a book on your 5 pillars of power. Yeah, I'm thinking about, I'm definitely going to write a book. And I'm going to get my clothing line back on as well. I think I think I'll get my website back up tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to get I'm going to try and get a book going, and I'm going to get my website up and running again tomorrow. I don't even know why I've left it like closed for so long, but I'm going to get the clothing line back up and running as well. You know what I'm saying? Because people have been asking me about that as well. Someone said, please make the clothing affordable. Yeah, man, I'll make it affordable, man. Come on, man. But yeah, yeah. So all my people watching, yeah. As a guy that come from a broke background, broken home background. I lived in a bad environment. You know, where I lived, a friend of mine growing up shot another guy that I know, killed him. You know, I've seen people get stabbed right in front of me. I've been stabbed before. I've walked around with a weapon. You know, I've done loads of petty crimes. I've had loads of little fights on the street. You know, robbed people. I've been robbed. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, then I've had addictions, lack of ambition, chasing girls to no end result. Like, bruh, faced a lot of rejection in my life, had people turn on me, lost friends, lost family. Bro, this life is hard, bro. Like, but don't give up. That's all I can say to you, bro. Like, because at the end of the day, like, when I was in those certain scenarios or phases in my life, it looked like there was no way out, bro. Like, I couldn't imagine what I'm doing now, where I'm talking to all these people, and all these people are gonna watch this on the playback, and they're actually gonna be listening to me, and the fact that I can help some people. There's somebody that can relate to one of these things I've talked about today, and the fact that I'm on the other side of it is gonna give them motivation or inspiration, or let them see that maybe there is light at the end of the tunnel. Do you get what I'm saying? So the only thing I can say is that don't give up, man. Like, do not give up on life. Do not throw your life away. Like, just try to redirect your energy to positive things. Like, if something is in your life and it doesn't bring positive energy, get rid of it. Whether it's a object or it's a person, get rid of them, bruv. Simple. You gotta be very cold about it. Again, as I said, I had to walk away from a lot of my friends. They never really did nothing wrong to me or bad to me, but the fact is I couldn't be around them because they were bad influences on me, and I was too weak to be around them and not be influenced. I was not strong enough, so I had to get away from them. Some of you are going to have to do that. Some of you have got criminal friends that influence you to do criminal things. It's going to lead to destruction. Just change your situation, fam. Just look for good influences. Good distractions, and face your demons. And I promise you, things will get better. It may not be an overnight fix. In fact, I know it won't be an overnight fix, but things will get better. I promise you. All right. I just ask that everyone hit the like button right now. Let me just check. Big up Sky N for the super chat. He says, gotta support this self-reflection regarding depression. Respect, King. Hey, big up to Sky N, man. I appreciate that. Listen, it's real, and I hope that this has really touched somebody and helped somebody listening, bro. No matter what age you are, no matter what color you are, whether you're a man or a woman, like, bro, I've been through a lot of crap in my life, and even the things I've said is not everything, bruv. There's certain things that have happened that I can't even speak about, bruv, because they're just they go too deep, bruv. But just know, as a guy that's gone through a lot of crap, like, bruh, don't let it overtake you, bro. Don't let depression overtake you. Don't let anger overtakes you. Don't let it turn into envy, start hating people and stuff like that. Bruh. As I said, positive energy, positive people, positive distractions. Find your purpose and things will get better, fam. You know what I'm saying? Get power. That's what it's about. Get power. Alright. Big up CKQ podcast. He says, this was what I needed. Thank you, bro. Hey, this is what we all need, bro. I need this as well. I'm gonna watch this back as well. Yeah. I'm gonna watch this back as well, and I need to listen to this kind of message as well certain times, innit? I'm not no better than nobody. I get times where I'm depressed. I get times where, like, you know, I just feel down and low. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully this can help you lot and help me too, innit? Hey, listen, all I ask is all of you, please hit the like button. For some reason, YouTube is unsubscribing subscribers on my channel. They keeping the views on my videos low. Like the viewership on my channel has gone down. Like all of a sudden I was getting 10,000 views. Like now I'm getting like 3,000 views all of a sudden, like 2,000 views. Like YouTube's really messing up my channel. There's nothing I can do about it. They're unsubscribing people. Like, I don't know what's going on, bruv. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, they pushing all these other channels to get bigger, and these other channels are not really helping nobody, bro. They're just going round and round in circles, talking about the same stuff over and over and over again, and that's just where it is. And even somebody in the chat said that yeah. Someone said, I unfollowed all of them except Richez. I appreciate that, J Just. I appreciate that. Listen, anyway, so everyone smash the like button. Let me check where we at with that, though, quickly. Let me check where we at with that. Oh, wow. Okay. Cool. Appreciate that. Hey, big up to everyone. Everyone's hitting the like button, man. I appreciate that. If you still want to support the channel, the Cash App is right there. # King Richez 1. Also, follow me on Patreon as well. www.patreon.com/King Richez. My Instagram's down there for all the fitness stuff. Ambitions of Power on Instagram. Also, if there's any videos that you see on TikTok or Instagram that you want me to do a reaction to, send them to my Instagram, DM them to me, and I will see which ones I can do reactions to. Yeah. But anyway, listen, big up to everyone, man. This has been a hard live stream to do, but it needed to be done. You get what I'm saying? And hopefully it's helped one or two people out there. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. King Richez. Anyway, I'm doing a call-in show tomorrow. Yeah, I'm doing a call-in show tomorrow, so tune in for that, and we out. Peace.